Hello, YouTube! My name is Scott, and I just got around to watching Cobra Kai. We're up to Season 4, Episode 7, which is called Minefields. Now, there is a minefield that is mentioned way at the end of the episode, but we'll get to that if I remember. A lot of the stuff involved is parental, and I can appreciate that as a parent. There's a few things, I'm not entirely sure if they made sense, but we'll get to that too. So, let's say on the LaRusso side, because there's not really a lot of karate going on in this one. But on the LaRusso side, Anthony, Sam's younger brother, Daniel's son, all that, he's a bully. I mean, there's no getting around it. His friends are like the worst possible enablers, and the episode starts off with him stealing Kenny's clothes while he's changing after gym class. When Daniel talks to him a little bit later, he twists it around and makes it seem like he's the one being bullied because he took Kenny's Cobra Kai jacket. I forget what, but he's got something of Kenny's. And, Daniel's thinking he was like part of Cobra Kai, but no. So Daniel's like, okay, time to start teaching you karate. And it really seems like he's into it. Like the other kids at Miyagi-Do are working on their skills for the Olive Alley, board breaking, weapon training, so on. But that's all really in the background because Daniel's trying to get Anthony into the basics, starting by cleaning off his small fleet of classic cars, which all have bird crap on them. And it seems like it's going well, except that Daniel had to leave, and when he came back, he found Anthony had hired someone to do it for him. That was a little crooked. And, Anthony's talking about how he doesn't really seem to care about karate. And there's a conversation later in their home dojo about the same thing, how, Anthony never really knew Mr. Miyagi, so the fact that Daniel talks about him so much, it kind of has Anthony feeling left out. And apparently there's this really funny story about how Anthony was a baby, Mr. Miyagi was holding him for the first time, and Anthony kicked him in the face. It was like the first time anybody had landed a kick on Mr. Miyagi. I mean, it's nice that they keep referencing him, I guess, but... So, armed with all this, Anthony is fully ready to bury the hatchet with Kenny. But Kenny is a Cobra Kai and can't let it go. And there's this whole incident where Kenny traps him in the library with his friends and beats them all down, but almost lands a punch on Anthony before they get caught. And thanks to some convenient video evidence, now Daniel and Amanda know their son is a bully. And Kenny got him. And believe it or not, there's some fatherly stuff going on over with Eagle Fang, let's say. See, Johnny and Carmen wanted to find the right time to let it slip to Miguel that, they're dating. But then Miguel found Johnny's sweatband in his mother's bed. So that got awkward fast. And even though they talked it out and Miguel seemed okay with it, it got worse because Johnny was showing him special attention at Eagle Fang practice. I gotta say, just karate practice. That was weird. And like I said, from the last one, off screen, that new girl, Devin, she's a part of Cobra Kai, Eagle Fang now. I will remember that at one point, I'm sure. And they're doing all these different exercises to try and combat Cobra Kai's method of cheating. And I gotta admit, I kind of would have thought that Devin coming into this would realize, okay, so there's clearly an Eagle Fang Cobra Kai grudge here, and do I want to be a part of that? But apparently she did, because she took to it like a duck to water. She apparently has watched a lot of 80s action movies. So there's going to be some competition in the girls' division for Eagle Fang. But everybody's kind of upset with Miguel because Johnny was favoring him the entire time, didn't let him train or anything. And, it led to this talk between Johnny and Miguel. He snuck him out of school. And he was talking about, the way he was growing up he didn't know his dad. He had a stepdad. It wasn't really the same. And Miguel's kind of trying to talk him into trying to find his dad. Maybe that'll be a plot point later. I don't know. But again, Johnny said he wouldn't know where to begin. And Miguel really just kind of wants to go back to the teacher sensei thing, but knowing that Johnny's dating his mom. And that seems to be fine. And Johnny had a bunch of watermelons just lying around, ready for training Miguel in what is apparently called the flying tornado kick. But hey, that's when Sam shows up, because it's like she said, she wants to learn both styles. She wants to be doing her own thing, and I commend it. But of course, the episode, that's actually not where the episode ended, but there was more going on at Cobra Kai. Because Sensei Silver is starting to talk about the importance of thinking during a fight, to analyze your opponent's weaknesses. Now, this seemed kind of significant to me, because apparently all these kids, like, just because they've been watching each other train and training with them, they can identify each other's weaknesses. Maybe it's just me, but I honestly don't know if I would be able to do that if I knew karate. But there's this one thing that Silver says, that everybody has a weakness. And I think it was Tori who was like, not Sensei Kreese. Like, yeah, even Sensei Kreese, he has a weakness. And that is where the tiniest little cracks started to form. Because Kreese apparently doesn't think he has any weaknesses. And that came into play a little bit later, but this first part. So the two of them had a bet. Each of them would pick a student. They'd face off against each other. Whoever hit the mat first would lose, and they bet like a 6-pack of beer on it. And it was going pretty well. Kreese looked like he was going to win, but then he set up Robbie, and Silver set up Kenny. And Silver got Kenny to realize that Robbie's weakness was like seriously hurting Kenny, because he's kind of taking him under his wing. And that was how Silver wound up winning the bet. And Kreese showed up with this 6-pack of beers that apparently they used to drink back in the day. And the Minefield, okay? So Kreese referenced this guy they served with in Nam, who made a stupid mistake on patrol and walked into a minefield. Got blown the hell up. And that was when Kreese started dominating Silver, especially with memories of the cage in Vietnam. All for pointing out that he might have a weakness, by the way. And, I mean, I'm pretty sure he does, even though Silver really should have just been like, no, that was just something I said to the students. I know you don't have a weakness. I've known you for how long? Something that could have been taken care of really easily. But, I mean, if it starts a rift between the two senseis of Cobra Kai, I'm not going to argue. All in all, this was a pretty good episode, even if it was light on actual fighting. And kind of light on actual training. Huh. It's almost like Cobra Kai isn't all about karate. But anyway, that's what I think about it. What do you guys think? Leave a comment down below, like the video, share it around, subscribe if you feel so inclined. Hit the bell button below for notifications when another video goes up. And until next time, I have been Scott, and this has been Just Get Around to Watching, an offshoot of opinions no one cares about. Everyone has opinions. This one was mine.